Good day and welcome back to my channel. For today's topic, we shall be discussing the functions and competencies for OIC Navigational Watch. So we'll take an in-depth review of what are the competencies to be taken, the 2333 rule, and other functions that deal with the OIC Navigational Watch Certificate of Compliance. So, come on and join me. Let's begin. So let's try now and look at the theoretical part of the examination, wherein under competence you have the first function and 9 competencies which cover mostly the plan and conduction of a passage plan, and determining your position. Okay, to maintain a safe navigation watch, the proper use of radar and ARPA for the safety of navigation. Okay, and the use of ECDIS to maintain safety also of navigation. So if you will notice, these things are a crossover of operational management. But this operational is more of the theoretical aspect, which you have taken during your initial studies back at the institution. And some safety features such as the response to emergency, response to distress signals at sea, the use of IMO SMCP, and the use of English. This is maritime communications. Okay. Transmit and receive information by visual signaling. This is where you use your flag and pennants, your Aldis lamps, okay? And the basic maneuvers of a vessel, which is under the operational level. So, maneuvering of the vessel in management level is different. Okay, let's clear that up while still learning. Going down to the second function, which is cargo handling and stowage at the operational level. Okay. You monitor the load, stowage, securing, and care during the voyage, and the unloading of cargo. This is to say, the assistance as a watchkeeper to the cargo officer. Okay. And inspect and report defects and damage to cargo spaces, hatch covers, and ballast tanks, among others. Okay. So with this function 1 and function 2, you already consumed 50 plus 140 questions already. Yes. So you still have a balance in the third function, which is controlling of operations of the ship and care for persons on board at the operational level. You have this same function also, but on the management level, which is different. Okay, there are slight similarities, but it is basically different. Okay, so you have competencies 12 to 19, wherein you will ensure compliance with pollution prevention requirements, not only of the IMO, MARPOL, but also of your company. If that is their case, they follow the rules, then you should have no problem with that. Okay, then you have maintaining seaworthiness of the ship, prevent, control, and fight fires on board, operate the life-saving appliances, apply medical first aid, MEFA, on board the ship, monitor compliance with legislative requirements. Normally the legislative requirements will be basic questions on the Philippine maritime regulations. Application of leadership and teamwork skills, and contribute to safety of personnel and ship. So you if you totalize the number of questions, it will hit 200. And on the third column, you have the passing mark. Getting half of the score is not passing. Okay, it's quite different. You should get more than that. And the passing percentage is written on the last column, wherein say function 1, competency 1, you must get at least 80% of the total number of questions. So that's how they grade examinations now. Now, going to the specifics of the practical for the OIC. As discussed before, we have 3 functions. And the first function is the navigation at operational level. So you have to do a planning and conduction and determination of position. Okay, so if you will look at the earlier slides, there are 7 competencies that require a certain amount of hands-on. Okay, these are highlighted here in the number of exercises that has TNA, okay, which is training and assessment. For this, I think you should show proof that you have undergone some sort of training, or you have an attestation from the ship that indicates that you have indeed handled these competencies correctly and that you are certified as competent for this competency. Okay? We have lots of competencies right now. Okay? So the use of radar and ARPA, the use of ECDIS, okay? Transmitting and receiving information by visual sighting, okay? And you have prevent and control fight fires on board. Okay, you have life-saving equipment, appliances, and medical first aid, contribute to the safety of the personnel. For this, I think Marina accepts additional training. You don't call it a training course that specifies this competency. There are courses by the maritime training centers that offer this and are certified as accepted by the certification division of Marina. Okay. If you look at the passing marks now, then you will see the percentage again, okay, and the number that you need for you to be able to pass. For example, competency 1, you have to have 24 out of 30. So there are 30, how should you say it? There are 30 questions or 30 simulations. No, not simulation. There are 30 questions, and you should be able to answer 24 of them. Okay, the examination is designed so the computer can recognize whether you have entered the 24 cutoff or not. Okay. Most of the questions given by the assessors in practical are instantly graded. And these assessors are certified by Marina. So the practical assessment, which is less in theory and more of actual hands-on, that's where they get their gradings on the hands-on. To continue, let me show you the listings of the functions and competencies that will be taken up during your examination as OIC for the navigational watch. Now, if you will look closely, each function has a certain number of competencies. Looking at the table now, it is columnized, and the first column after the competence is the number of questions. Anywhere from 10 to 5 to 20, so forth and so on. Okay, then each examination of the competencies are given a allocated time, and it is expressed in minutes. Then you have the passing mark and the passing percentage. Take note that most of the time this is not weighted average, but the competency of a function. Okay, so referencing chapter 2-1 of the STCW code, the examination is in two parts for the STCW office in Marina. Okay, the theoretical has 3 functions and 19 competencies. In addition, competencies 14, 15, 16, and 19 shall be evidenced by training and experience records. This means to say approved in-house training, or your record book, and your seafarer's identification, your seaman's book, to show proof of the actual shipboard plus what was done during your shipboard time. The practical has 3 functions also, and the same with 19 competencies. And in addition, there are 7 competencies that will require a show of competence. That means to say you will have to actual hands-on certain equipment and certain assessors' challenges to see if indeed you are competent enough to hold the certificate under OIC. The time run for each theoretical and practical is 200 minutes on the average. That means to say 200 minutes for theoretical and 200 minutes for practical. Okay, so if you divide it by 60, that's a little over an hour per group, practical and theoretical. And the examination questions for theoretical is 200. And these are all independent from each other. That means to say the competencies do not pull the other competencies. It is not a weighted average. It is per competency, their grading. So even if you have 4 competencies that did well and 1 that did not do well, the other 4 will not pull its grade. No, that's not the way it works here when taking this examination. Okay. The 3-2 and 3-3 ruling for theoretical means that a candidate who failed in 3 or more competencies in one sitting may not receive the exam, or may not retake the exam within a 2-month period. So it's given enough time for them to review again. Okay? A candidate who has failed 3 times in the same competence is not allowed to receive the competency, but must secure a master's certificate or an attestation to the candidate's improving or improvement, and after 3 or more months of shipboard training, or in the case of Marina, an approved training or a refresher course. So there are 3 choices that you can make in order for you, if ever you fail a competency for 3 times. And that's all we have for this video. Remember, these are 4 parts. This is part 1 of 4, and the next topic that we will be discussing will be the COC for management level. So until that time, keep it here in this channel. Stay safe, and bon voyage to all of you. Goodbye.